and welcome back to the Basilisk Cube. I'm your host Thomas, and in this episode, I'll be taking you on the journey of how I go from this concept sketch to a fully realized Mandalorian flight suit. It is a journey. There are a lot of bumps along the way, and I will be showing you all of them. Everything from getting the wrong color of fabric to sewing the wrong size jacket. So, let's get into it. Alright, so first I needed to cut out the pattern. In this case, it was a matter of printing everything on letter paper and manually just putting everything together. Alright, so here I've got a gallon of water and a cup of chlorine bleach. And the reason why is somewhat disappointing. Here is the canvas that I bought for my flight suit. If you recall from chapter 1 in the concept sketch, this fabric is supposed to be charcoal gray. However, everywhere that I could find it was either out of stock completely or only had canvas in black. So black it was, because in theory, I can use bleach to lighten it. So I'm just going to very gently pour in the bleach. Don't want any splashing. Don't want to ruin my other clothes. And I'm not too worried about putting my hands or skin in direct contact with it because it's very dilute. It's a 1:16 mix that I've got here. So now I'm just going to completely submerge my canvas. So I don't want any bright spots and dark spots. And we're just going to leave this to soak. I'm going to check back about every 15 minutes. And then when I think it's done, I will let you know how long it took. And I will follow the same process for the entire bolt of fabric for the flight suit. A few seconds ago in video time, I put this large swatch of black canvas into a bleach solution. And I thought that every 15 minutes I could check back and see if there's been progress. I expected after a few hours that maybe there'd be some change, but no, this is cut straight from the bolt, has never touched bleach, and it's exactly the same as the canvas that was in there for 12 hours. All right, so what for you is a few seconds, for me has been a whole week. And as you can see, I've done a lot of testing. So here is my 0-hour sample. This is no bleach, no time. I did a 12-hour test with a cup of bleach and a gallon of water, and nothing happened. I was then reminded by somebody that dark fabrics tend to have a lot of extra dye in them that's not washed out before it's sold. But after washing, no change. I doubled the amount of bleach. No change. I doubled the amount of bleach again. And as you can see, after 30 minutes, even after just 10 minutes, drastic changes. Obviously, I don't want my flight suit to be orange. It's supposed to be charcoal gray. So I reduced it again to 1 cup. I have 4 cups crossed out here. It's just 1 cup in 16 cups, which is a gallon. The major realization that I had between these two is here I was using splash-free bleach. I guess Clorox has started putting some detergent or something to keep the water, the surface tension a lot closer, so it's not splashing as much. but that also reduces the effectivity. So I got some generic bleach, put a cup in a gallon, and 2 minutes, minute 30 seconds, 15 seconds is starting to look dark again. A quarter cup of bleach to a gallon of water after only 1 minute still gives me basically chocolate brown. This is about as close as I'm going to get to charcoal gray. It's still very brown, but it's very, very dark brown. 20 gallons of water, only 1 cup of bleach, 2 minutes, and then vigorous rinsing. And this is what I've gone with for my final product. The next step in the process is actually cutting the fabric out. The first thing you want to do is you want to iron your fabric so everything is nice and flat. I could have done a better job here, but this is good enough. I've heard that typically you're supposed to either pin the pattern to the fabric or use weights or something and just cut the fabric out with the paper still there. I'm used to a leathercraft approach where you trace the pattern onto the material and then cut. Do what floats your boat. You'll notice at the end of cutting out the jacket, and again at the end of cutting out the pants here, that I cut out some pieces using interfacing material. This is a plastic-backed iron-on material that just stabilizes your fabric, makes it stiffer. This is because there's a few points in the pattern where it says use interlining or interfacing. And I found out later through following the pattern, that's not really the case. These are just regular fabric. All right, we're here at my dining room table. The audio quality is probably a bit off because it's not the same room. It's not the same microphone. I've got a special microphone set up for my computer so I can do voiceovers. Got the sewing machine out. This is my trusty Janome 1000 HD, and there are some decorative stitches that we're supposed to sew before we start putting things together. I've got this also marked as right and left. There's really only 3 pieces, well, 2 pairs and another piece. There's really only 3 pieces that need decorative stitching before being put together. Those are the collar and both parts of the sleeve, so the inside sleeve and the outside sleeve, because Mandalorians. I've also run a test of the thread, the tension settings, just make sure everything's kosher. And then after I have the stitches done, the decorative stitches, I've got some yellow fabric tape that will be those arm decorations, a straight line down the left line, or left arm, and 2 horizontal lines around the right arm. All right, I'm gonna scooch the camera down a little bit so that it's more focused on the work area, and we'll get to it. There we go. That'll do it. There was a lot more that I wanted to show you at the dining room table. I mean, this is still the dining room table, but in that last scene, there was a lot more I wanted to show you. But it ended up taking like 15 or 20 minutes, and this is supposed to be a 25-minute video. So if you want to see all of the detail, I have like 20 hours of footage. Most of it doesn't have sound, but if you want to see all that, I can put together a director's cut. Just let me know in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in. Pinning is about half of the process. You got to make sure that all your edges are aligned, and that's really tricky along curved edges. Not to mention the fact that I must have stabbed myself at least half a dozen times. Pinning corners like this, I found that for the best results, you want to do just all the corners at once. I really like to sew the pieces together flat and then seal the edges together before folding and doing top stitches, but you just can't do that in some cases. Figured I'd show you threading the machine once. It's not that hard of a process. Just follow your machine's instructions if you need help. I've got an edge guide on there, so whether I'm sewing straight or curved, that little magnet that is now taken off, that makes sure that the fabric is a set distance away from the middle of the foot. And that just helps me get a nice straight line to my stitching. I still struggle with it though.
This was the moment you knew you screwed up.
So I was working on the fly of the flight suit pants, and as I hope you could tell by the transition back there, something went wrong. It was a bit of a miscommunication between the pattern maker and, how I think. So what I thought I was supposed to do was first I was supposed to lay the zipper face down against the seam allowance of the right side of the pants. Cool. That's exactly correct. Then the instructions illustrate this folded edge of the fly flap against the zipper teeth. That was not correct. Looking at a pair of my own denim pants, getting some consultation from my wife, looking at the further steps in the instructions, what was supposed to happen is the flap was supposed to be sewn on raw edge to the edge of the zipper and the seam allowance of the pants. Sewn on like that. then fold it under. And now we have the proper shaping of the under flap of the fly. So now I'm going to put that together and we'll pick up where we should have. Alright, so final steps of the jacket. I'm putting on the main zipper, having a little bit of difficulty getting it situated because the zipper is a bit longer than the jacket. But we're almost there.
This was the moment you knew you screwed up again.
Something did go wrong. Very wrong indeed. So let me walk you through this. This is probably 2 sizes too small, as you can tell. First of all, I have abnormally long arms. That's just a fact of my life. I could add cuffs to these sleeves, make them longer, but that's like the smallest issue here. Similar story with the length of the tunic. I could extend it if I really wanted to, but there's other problems going on. First and foremost, you might recognize that the bands are on the wrong sleeves. In my concept drawing, the vertical stripe is on the left and the horizontal stripes are on the right. I swapped the sleeves on accident because when you sew a jacket, you sew the sleeves on inside out. Not fantastic. The next thing is this. In my family, we call that Pooh Bear, as in Winnie the Pooh. That is simply a fact of life with canvas jackets, even with leather jackets. You're not really going to get away from that unless you really know your armhole geometry, but it could be helped if the torso was bigger around. So, get a little bit closer. You can probably see here, it is straining against my chest. It's even worse against my back. I can't bring my shoulders closer together than this. I can barely cross my arms. So all of these things combined. Oh, and then not only is it too tight up here, it's too loose down here. All of these things came together and made me decide, I'm not tearing this apart to put the sleeves on opposite. I'm not going through all the effort of adding cuffs and a waistband. I'm just going to start over 2 sizes larger. So that's what we're going to do. So you've already seen this. This is the same process that I went through before. So it's just the jacket all over again, and hopefully this time it's right. Let's just go through it. Okay, so that was quite the ride, huh? I mean, this whole journey, there's been ups and downs. We got the color of the fabric wrong. I say we. I'm the one who made the mistakes. You're just along for the ride, learning from my mistakes. I got the color of the fabric wrong. I had to experiment with bleach. I had to remake an entire jacket because I got the size wrong. But we're here. We've done it, and it fits great. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, let me put it on here. I'll do that YouTube thing where they... Oh, it worked. I can't believe it worked. Whoa. I really didn't expect that to happen the first time I tried. It's not working. It's not working. Oh, okay, we're back. Not sure what happened there, but we're back. So as you can see, the final one actually fits so much better. It's fantastic. So the stripes are on the correct sleeves. Good. I can cross my arms a lot more easily. A lot more give in the shoulders and in the chest. Even the Pooh Bear is not quite as bad as it was before, though it's going to happen because it's canvas. I also, I don't know how well you can see it, I sewed some darts. Basically, I just pinched in the sides of the jacket so that it would be a little bit of a better fit. And I also, as you can see here, so the pants, I think that went pretty well. Obviously, I still have some things to learn, straightness being one, straightness of the seam. And there's some corners and some loose flyaways and whatnot. But overall, I am ecstatic with the way that this turned out. Now, I could have gone the much easier route of just buying a set of medical scrubs and modifying them to fit my desires. That is a perfectly valid route and much, much easier. It just isn't exactly what I wanted. As you saw a moment ago, there's some really cool seams and patterning on the sleeves, on the pants. This is just a little bit of a step above, I think, and way more uncomfortable. I have to admit, it is warm and it is itchy because the seams inside are not professionally finished. So, all that being said, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more where this came from, then I implore you to leave a like, subscribe, write me a note in the comments about what you would have done differently in sewing this, because I know there's things I would have done differently. Mentioned a couple of them. Or if you think it was even worth my time to sew from scratch a whole flight suit. But plug being said, and leave it there. And I'm going to say, good luck, don't die, we're all counting on you.